Hey, Blue Demons! Happy Thursday, happy Blue Thursday, everybody, and welcome to this today's version of Get to Know DePaul. Today, I'm joined by Christine and Katie from the Office of Health Promotion and Wellness to talk with them to get to know a little bit more about HBW. Katie, Christine, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, so for those of you who may be new to Get to Know DePaul, this series is designed to be a live stream where we do deep dives with different offices, programs, and services so that you can get to know about the resources that you have available to you here at DePaul. So as we kick things off, Katie and Christine, I'm curious if you can just tell us a little bit about you. So who you are, where you're from, why you came to DePaul, how long you've been here, stuff like that.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'm Katie. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm originally from Michigan, but I've lived in Chicago for, I think it's 12 years now, so it definitely feels like home. And I've been at DePaul coming up on 2 years, and this is my first time working in higher education. I actually come from a clinical background in addiction treatment and therapy, so I was looking for a new way to learn myself as well as kind of share my knowledge and expertise with a new community. And I'm loving it so far and lots of adapting this past year.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Christine. I am the grad assistant from Health Promotion and Wellness. I got my undergrad at DePaul, and I got it in psychology. Currently, I'm studying clinical mental health counseling, and so yeah, I've been at DePaul for a while, but I've been working at HBW since 2018. So I've been at HBW also for a while, and I am from the southwest suburbs of Chicago, and I've been here all my life. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Which suburb are you from?
It's called Homewood.
Oh, yeah, nice. I'm from the Chicagoland area as well, so I am quite familiar with all of the suburbs from my mom
Yay.
driving me to softball games throughout my entire life. So softball, basketball, all that. So always loved learning where people are from. So, for our viewers, they may have heard a lot about HBW, or at least heard the acronym, or heard about health promotion and wellness, or maybe seen some messaging around Take Care DePaul. I'm curious if, as we start here, if you can just tell us a little bit about what does HPW, or Health Promotion and Wellness, do?
Sure. This is a question that comes up a lot because I do think people hear us in all these different spaces. And because there's a lot that we do, sometimes it can be a little bit confusing on like who is that office and what exactly do they provide. So I oftentimes describe us as a great resource of resources. So we are a really good go-to spot if somebody's not sure like what support they're looking for. Is it something on campus they can get? Is it something off campus they can link up with? If we're not the office, we can help you find where you need to go. We do programming and workshops. So back when we were in-person workshops. Now we do Zoom workshops, events, collabs, on a variety of topics. Our three kind of main categories are typically mental well-being, sexual and relationship violence, or healthy relationships and consent, and then substance use, misuse, and recovery. In addition to our workshops and programs, we also provide individual support. So myself and the other professional staff in the office can meet with students for advocacy meetings, one-on-one sessions to kind of help them in any of those three areas as well. Christine, do you want to share a little bit about the peer health educators in our office as well?
Yeah, so we have the HEAT team, which stands for Health Education Action Team, and these are a group of peer health educators coming from our office. So they are students that lead some of these health wellness workshops and presentations, events. And so what I really love about HEAT is that you're able to really communicate and retain information from your peers. So getting assistance, support, resources, even advocacy from your peers is something that I find really meaningful. And so it's really awesome to have the HEAT team. And I also once was a part of HEAT, so I also have that experience. But yeah, that's our like I say it's our gift. He is our gift. So that's
Mm.
a little bit about us.
Yeah, that's great. So, obviously we know a lot of or everything looked different from fall of 2019 versus fall of 2020. So I'm curious if you could tell us a little bit about how students engaged with your office this past fall. And if you think it's going to look the same in winter and potentially spring, or if you're planning to make any changes moving forward.
Yeah, that's a great question. Something I saw was I met with a lot more students one-on-one. So although we do a lot of workshops and programming, I know folks had a lot of individualized needs or maybe felt alone in some of what they were going through. So we definitely continued to meet with students virtually one-on-one. We also did a lot of programming like this over StreamYard, which may continue, although that is a shift that we're creating. Something we were noticing with our specific content areas where people wanted to go a little bit more in depth in some of these health and wellness topics. So we will still be providing some things like this in stream version, but then providing a little bit more of the closed Zoom workshops as well to give folks a place where you can come and bring your questions or be on the screen and like create some social interactions as well.
Yeah, I would like to add one thing that I miss from in person was the walk ins. I know our peer health educators would be in the office, and I miss just having like random walk ins and really just building a connection and helping individuals who, really need resources around campus or in our office. But what we're doing now is that we continue to have at least like weekly events just for students to come in and get to know HEAT, but also get to know our professional staff. And so it's really nice that we still have multiple things that students can come to reach out to us.
That's great. So, as you were hosting all the, the different workshop streams, I'm just curious if there were any trends or themes that you heard about, just coming either from students or just that you noticed from some of the discussion that you all were having.
Yeah, mental well-being has been a really big theme. Um, and kind of interestingly, like I was mentioning with the one-on-ones, meeting with a lot of students individually who were talking about some loneliness, feeling disconnected, but then also this myth that seems to be out there that like I'm the only one struggling with
Mhm.
this. So there's been a lot of need for this social connection that does look differently, but then also some feelings around like it's just me. So maybe Christine can kind of talk about some of our programs to address that this quarter, but just to share a few more of the trends and themes I've been seeing, not only the isolation, but I've also noticed maybe some like guilt and shame or confusion around like pre-COVID times, my social life was no problem. It wasn't really something I had to think about. Or my classes and academics, it just kind of came naturally. And now it's not. So there, I'm also noticing a lot of this looks and feels different, and I'm just not like functioning like I used to. So that's been something I've been saying to a lot of different people to recognize that like it's okay if your social life isn't coming naturally. It's weird to have to be like, let me put this on my calendar and send my group of friends a Zoom link. Or if academics aren't just flowing as well, and you're definitely not alone in that. That, my day could be full of 5 different students who are sharing pretty similar experiences. So, Christine, anything you experienced or to add, or if you want to talk about some of our programs to address it?
Yeah, isolation was the biggest one that I've noticed. And also just like classes, I've noticed that since like classes work a little bit differently now, they may not be the same time that they were scheduled. So some students are not as available as they used to be because we used to have a lot of evening programs when we were in person. But we've noticed that one of the evening, like some of our evening programs, a lot of students weren't available at that time. So one example is that we used to have like the mini vow bystander intervention training that we would do. We started off when COVID happened, we started doing it weekly. And with the times that we had it, which was either afternoon or evening, we noticed that it's not because nobody wants to come, it's that they're not available. So we learned that Saturdays are best for students because they're so busy with not only Zoom, but also participating through D2L. So that's something that I noticed too, just their availability. They're not that available to do that as well.
Mhm. Well, I think the other part that goes to that too, when people are on campus and they're in person, when you move from physical location to physical location, your brain is able to change, right? You change your
Mhm.
mentality as you enter a new space. If you're in a classroom, like, and then you walk over to the student center, there is a clear cut mentality, and like, whether you consciously realize it or not, you're going from this like academic setting to a social setting, and it's a lot harder when you're looking at the same screen and you're in the same place, right? Like, it's just
Mhm.
harder to
Yeah.
like mentally shift. So I think it that it's important for students to realize that too. Like, if you feel like you're struggling to transition from your class and time to having a desire to want to meet via Zoom socially with your friends, or like in like iChat or any other WhatsApp, anything. Part of it very well may be that you just mentally you don't have the same
Yeah.
mental triggers anymore. So sometimes the day it does make a difference. Like, if you can do all your classes on one day, and then you can spend so that you don't have to have a class every day. You just have to, I think students have to think a little bit about that too as they prepare, and think about how they can mentally shift in things.
Mhm.
Totally. That's been something I've discussed with many students this past quarter, and some now it's a little harder in Chicago, at least when it's cold, but some of those strategies in like keeping your commute going, so still waking
Mhm.
up and like taking a walk around your house and then sitting down and saying this is class 1 and then taking another walk and
Yeah.
creating those transitions as well as like in your environment. So I know for myself, sometimes transitioning from work to relaxation, I'll like shift the lighting in my place. So I'll turn this light on and then turn the lamp on, or light a candle, or put like daytime PJs off and nighttime PJs on. So creating some of those like mental shifts or physical, or even if it is standing up and walking around your coffee table and then sitting back down. I love that suggestion, Courtney. It can definitely help break the day up and make it easier to make those shifts.
Yeah, so we've talked a little bit about some of the offerings that you all have had. I'm just curious if you can talk a little bit further about what students could look forward to in this winter, or ways that they can stay connected. I know HPW has a number of different groups, and from the sounds of it, it sounds like some of those numbers are increasing in terms of students being engaged with them. So just curious to hear a little bit more about those.
Sure, I'll share a few and then pass it over to Christine to talk about this really exciting new program we have this quarter. Another trend that I noticed in fall quarter, and actually even starting in the summer, was that our collegiate recovery community has grown a lot. So this is something that existed before. I facilitate those meetings. It's peer support. We meet once a week, and they are open to anybody in any type of recovery. So any DePaul student or alum with substance use, mental health, or eating disorder recovery. I think part of it is maybe folks are identifying more that like, oh, I am in recovery from these things during COVID, as well as maybe they knew before but needing some social support. So those meetings, somebody could just email me or email HBW to get involved with that. You can always follow our social media at Healthy DePaul. Follow us on DHub. We send out newsletters every week that kind of summarizes our upcoming programming. And then we have this new program, kind of like listening to what students are going through in this isolation and need for friends and relationships. Christine, you want to share a little bit about it's you, me, we, I think is what we're calling it,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes, you, me, we. So, this is a new program that we have created, and it's basically a program where you can meet people at DePaul virtually, of course, and you can foster new connections or even strengthen the connections that you already have. We provide a space for people to make friends because that's something that isolation is something we've been talking about, something that we've noticed that everyone is going through. And so we wanted to really just provide a space where people can create new friendships, but also, or create new relationships, but also strengthen their relationships. So each week, We have a specific topic, and we have collabed with our campus partners as well. And it's just so fun. The first week, we started last week, but this week we are talking about me, myself, and I, which is basically really just talking about the importance of the relationship with yourself and how that really adds so much value to your relationship with yourself, but also your relationship with others. That's just an example of what we talk about, but it's so great. Like we have breakout rooms, games, like it's amazing. So if you want more information, it's on our D Hub, and you can you can come on Tuesdays or Thursdays, which is great. So if you're not able to make it on Thursday, you can come Tuesday, and you can come at any time, because we want people to just come in and really just wash the day off and just really get to meet new people and have fun virtually.
Yeah, we're trying to kind of take off some of the awkwardness, with classes being on Zoom and programs being on Zoom. It's hard to like, private chat someone in the chat if it's even active and not disabled to say like, cool bedroom, wanna be my friend, right? Where in person you kind of can go grab a coffee or take a walk with someone, or those moments of casual connection have been removed online. So this is kind of a space to provide the structure around connecting with other students and not feel awkward of like, how do I form that
Right.
relationship? How do I reach out? So this is a space where hopefully our peer health educators will help take out any awkwardness with that and make it comfortable to get to know other people and yourself.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's really important right now, for people to know that there's other people like them that are looking for that, like,
Yeah.
because we don't have welcome week here, right? Like the great thing that
Yeah.
I always say about like the involvement fair, when people show up to the involvement fair, it is because they're looking for friends. You
Yes.
know that when there are 4,000 other people standing in that crowd, every one of them's in the same situation of you. You are all nervous. Like you're all nervous about like actually going up and meeting other people, but you're all there for the exact same reason, right? And like
Right.
where I think like that people are just there is a trepidation that um like that people have just to get out and get to know other people. So I think that'll be a great program. But before we go on, I have to go on a little tangent here for a second. So you
Yeah.
probably, Katie and Christine may have seen this, but we have a viewer who's saying, "Hi, ladies," here. And I have to give a shout out because that's actually my mom. So she
Hi.
has been tuning in to all of the, or like she's
Hi.
been actively following. She's probably getting to know DePaul, we joke she's the number one super fan. Like she goes to all the
Oh,
basketball
We
games
love
and
that.
everything. So, hi mom. Good to see you. I'll
hi,
talk to you
I'm
later.
Courtney's mom.
Hi, Courtney's mom.
She's gonna love that. She'll love the shout out. So, um, I know you talked. So you talked about the you me we program here. I'm curious if there's any other marquee experiences that students could look forward to as they head into winter.
Sure. So with our winter quarter programming, one of our big signature, it's not even an event, it's a week of events, is National Eating Disorder Awareness Week. So that is February 22nd through the 26th. And we are currently creating plans around what that week's going to look like. We are definitely going to do a lot of like education and awareness because there are so many things within that topic, like so many specific topics within there. So definitely keep an eye on our social media throughout that week. But we'll have several events throughout that week to provide some education, access to resources, generate some discussion around what inclusivity around eating disorder awareness looks like on our campus. We also just, a lot of our program is a lot of our collaboration. So Alms and I, we have some like just casual conversations planned around just kind of like getting through the winter blues and building some motivation. And then one other thing I'll mention is our ongoing trainings and workshops that happen every single quarter. which is the VINI vow, the bystander intervention training that Christine mentioned, and then choices. And this happens every week. Our peer health educators, so fellow students, super non-judgmental space to come and talk about your relationship with alcohol and relationship with cannabis. So those alternate each week. Did I miss anything there, Christine, for our highlight events this quarter?
Yep, you said it all. I just wanted to
Cool.
reiterate with the Vinny vow. We talked about a little bit about the trends, and so we have it on Saturday, so it's every second Saturday. But you could also email us or fill out an online intake form through our website if you are interested in doing like a private mini vow. If it's for any private groups, we're so open to doing that. So the mini vow is really just important, and it really teaches individuals how to intervene in different spaces. And we definitely have a great lens. We show a lens of prevention for sexual violence, and that is a 3-hour training. And all of these are free. Like, this is what's amazing about what we do, especially the professional development trainings. You could put these on your resume, or you get a certificate as well. So it's really cool.
Well, that's great. Well, as we head towards the tail end of our interview here, I just remind folks that are watching, if you have any questions for HBW, or if, like my mom, you just want to say hi, feel free to post it in the comments, and we're happy to share that live during today's screen. But I know we said it a couple times throughout, but just to reiterate, you can follow Health Promotion and Wellness on social media at Healthy DePaul. Their website is also go.depaul.edu/HBW, so feel free to head over there to get connected. And I know, like Katie referenced her email, I imagine, like Katie, Christine's information is all on there, along with the rest of the team as well. And then obviously talked a little bit about D-Hub, so I'd be remiss if we didn't put a plug in for that as well. If you haven't been on D-Hub, D-Hub is our student organization and department portal where different offices put information about what's going on, events. They have contact information for meetings, all sorts of different things like that. So if you go over to dhub.depaul.edu, you'll log in with your Campus Connect credentials, and then you'll have full access to our 350 organizations. And I think last time I checked, there's over 100 different departments and offices and initiatives that are on there as well. So be sure to log in and check it out and get information from there. So, but as we head towards the tail end of this, I'm curious, Katie and Christine, if you can share a little bit of advice for students as they head into the rest of winter quarter.
I think my piece of advice is remember you're a human. Something I was seeing a lot in fall quarter is this like internal conflict around we're facing so much, if we look at our life in these like concentric circles, there's us as an individual, and then our immediate family, friends, our DePaul community, our Chicago community, the US, the world, and in every single one of those circles, for most of us, there is a lot of stress and conflict and overwhelm. And remember that you're a human being and not a robot. I think I've been seeing a lot of like pressure in that internal conflict to do things perfectly and not mess up and not struggle with anything. So, yeah, I guess my advice is just remember you're human and make sure you're prioritizing your mental health and your rest and your self-care and some self-compassion. Yeah. Hold yourself to like a global pandemic standard, not not some impossible standard.
Yeah, that was really good. I would add to, if you can, find your joy, and if you can, find your peace. And it can look so differently for everyone. So finding my peace is drinking a hot, hot cup of tea, and just looking outside. I know it's a little cold, but looking outside with the blinds open and just like staring is really how I find my peace and finding my joy. It looks differently on different days, but spending time with my puppy is finding my joy sometimes. So if you can, I just really advise to find that, because joy and peace really does so much to our brain. I won't go into that, but it does a lot. Those hormones kick in, and you actually experience joy. So
Yeah, well, that's great advice. So, Christine, Katie, thank you again so much for joining us today. Really, really appreciate you being here. So, for our viewers, as you may know, our Get to Know DePaul series is part of Winter Welcome Week. So, we shifted some of our programs and events around from last week and extended it into this week, just given the terrorist attacks on the nation's capital last Wednesday. So you can still find information about more Winter Welcome Week events at welcomeweek.depaul.edu. We're wrapping things up today and tomorrow, so be sure to head over there to learn about the final events specifically for Winter Welcome Week. Then following Winter Welcome Week, you can always get more information on all of the upcoming events at the Den, which is go.depaul.edu/den. You also, if you're a currently enrolled student, you get an email about it every Monday. So keep an eye out for that. The title of it is always DePaul's Den, and it has all sorts of information about different offerings. Then just one final reminder, if you haven't yet had the opportunity to do so, if you scan the QR code pictured in the very bottom of the screen over there, you can enter for your chance to win one of our DePaul Blue Demon Spirit packs.
Mm.
So yeah, it includes a DePaul towel and a DePaul tumbler. So we're going to be picking one winner from each of the 10 Get to Know DePaul sessions. So the great part about it is you can either watch it live now or anytime on demand before January 17th. We're hoping to get them out the week after. So be sure to check out this and other sessions of Get to Know DePaul. But we will see you tomorrow morning. And until then, stay safe, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye bye, Blue Demons.
Bye.
Bye.